growing up is realizing he was the good guy. A 100% uncontroversial opinion if you watch the Avatar movies with any degree of careful observation. Indeed, you would be mightily hard-pressed to come up with any counter-narrative to this obvious fact that does not rest on the intrinsic assertion that the Na'vi are superior to humans. In every regard, not merely in the value of a Na'vi life compared to that of a human, but that the Na'vi are superior in terms of culture, in terms of spirituality, in terms of morality, that they are, full stop, a better species than humanity. Or, alternatively, you could simply reject all of that and just assert that the humans were the bad guys, because the movie told you so. Starship Troopers syndrome. Avatar hate is legit so cringe because 99% of it's just people seething that the story shows humans being assholes and losing to tribal aliens. No actual criticism of it as a film, just people mad they can't. Humanity, F yeah, LARP. Well, don't you worry, I have got a 1 hour long video going into autistic detail explaining why the humans legitimately did nothing wrong, and how the movie bears that point out every single solitary step of the way. As I'm waiting a little bit more to release that one till we get closer to the release of the new Avatar, as with a new Avatar on the horizon, the sole singular societal impact, cultural impact in general, in fact, of the Avatar movies comes around yet again: this meme. This is the only wider cultural impact that Avatar has had upon virtually anything, and it is in essence an ode to humanity, because one of the key points in my hour-long video is going to be that the reason why so many people side with humanity here is that there is a niggling subconscious feeling that you just watch the heroes lose, without quite being able to explain how they lost, why they lost, or why they should have lost. And, well, the attention around this is clear. This one received 28.3 million views for a highly uncontroversial opinion. I made another tweet just going, hey, if you see anything like this, people defending the avatars, send that to me. That got 51,000 views. I expected that to get maybe 1,000 and then a couple replies to it, and that's it, but no. This genuinely is the only actual cultural impact of Avatar, which is in and of itself a result of the fact that your brain can't quite figure out why the good guys lost. And this one, although it's apparently from a troll account, so don't pay it over much mind, I like the idea here. Again, movies about humans being bigoted towards a literal superior race. This is at the core of the thinking of the people who defend the avatars, that the avatars are intrinsically more valuable in a universal sense than the humans. And there is obviously, of course, also a great deal of why the hell did they lose? Again, confusions as you leave the cinema going, how did that happen? Even though a lot of this confusion is misinformed. Sacred Cow Shipyards here, for example. Really, after the opening sequence of Avatar 2, there was no reason for the Humies to not go full rods from gods on every indigenous asshole who stuck up their pointy-eared heads. Now, there is actually an in-universe reason for why they don't do so. It is because, and this is a very stupid reason, mind you, which we'll going to be going to deeper detail in my video on it on the topic, but apparently, the RDA, the Resource Development Agency, the company that has been given full mining rights to space in total, yes, it's that idiotic, have been also forbidden from using orbital weapons, because despite it being the single most powerful entity in human history, it still feels the need to obey the UN's laws. For some reasons. And then there are simply things like this. It really baffles me, the right-wing racist side with the humans in Avatar, despite them being driven by pure greed. Like, why not the Na'vi? The ones that universally believe in a god with semi-traditional family values. It's mind-boggling. See, the progressive point of view on this is utter confusion. They cannot see the opposing narrative at all, which is why this is all so fascinating. The impotent rage that this very question raises up every time. It is one of those things where it strikes the part of your brain that knows that it's probably wrong, but since it cannot articulate exactly why it is wrong, since it cannot rationalize it, it must defend itself, and so it becomes angry. It lashes out. I just can't understand. This is so ridiculous. Well, here's a couple of things. The Na'vi who believe in a god. No. The Na'vi are the slaves to a god. And not even a god, but simply a superorganism. The Na'vi are the labor ants of an ant colony. That is not coexistence with a god. That is being a cog in a biological machine and nothing more. As for traditional family values, Jake Sully's family values are rather despicable, again, if you truly watch it in the movie, which, once more, we'll go over this in a lot more detail because there's a lot to go into. Or, Avatar may present itself as technology versus nature, but the truth is that the Na'vi are as advanced as the humans. It's just that their tech, which is based on ecosystem integration, doesn't register as such. The RDA picked a fight against a peer, they just don't know it. This again is irrational cope of the brain again going, I'm clearly wrong on this, but I really don't want to be, so okay, It's not a bunch of savages, they have psychic aliens. That's what's happening here. They can commune with the planet. Not quite. If you viewed this as a war between Awa, the goddess, and humanity, then it makes more sense. But that of course also would cast Awa as the oppressive tyrant of the Na'vi and of every species on Pandora, holding them in a vice-like grip, determining their entire existence, whether they thrive or suffer, at the whims of a superorganism that viewed them individually as nothing more than drones in a hive. Or, the RDA stands in for white colonizer, and the Na'vi are indigenous Pandora. Note that it's conservatives pushing human supremacy bullshit with Avatar. There's no pushing it. The humans are absolutely superior to the aliens. This too is demonstrated not just in their technology, but in their morality as well. The Na'vi reject the humans at every turn. They reject overtures, they reject diplomacy and negotiations. They declare that the humans are a cup that is already full. Whereas the humans, of course, find the Na'vi to be the exact same. They will not accept any ideas other than their own. Humanity has come to negotiate with the Na'vi. They grant Jake Sully a carte blanche to make any deal, and he never even tries. Humanity is not just technologically superior, they are morally superior to the Na'vi. Or this one, the fundamental issue with Avatar, and with it irks so many people, even if subconsciously, and that is a valuable word, subconsciously, is not that the humans are too evil, but the Na'vi are too utterly perfect and identical, which is again rather interesting, because the movie portrays them as such. Yes, the movie portrays this as humanity being evil, exploitative. It shows you a picture of a huge land mover tearing apart the earth and goes, this is a terrible imagery, which it is, and humans agree. Then they present you with the noble savage and go, isn't this better? But again, if you actually investigate what's going on, it's not what it seems. The noble savages are slaves. They are not free, they are not morally superior, they are slaves in shackles. This is not humanity being cruel, evil, and horrible. This is humanity going, well, we have to live. There is nothing moral in allowing ourselves to go extinct when we have the means to prevent it. And sometimes that is going to look like this. This is what we are doing to our Earth right now in order to continue surviving. And the counter-argument then, of course, is that we mismanage our Earth. If humanity mismanages stewardship over Earth and caused it to no longer be suitable for life, it doesn't deserve to invade other worlds and kill its inhabitants to take what is theirs. Well, why not? If we assume that the theories are correct about global warming, well, we've already passed the threshold before we even realized it was there. In which case, we had no opportunity to course correct. We killed ourselves before we even knew that there was an opportunity to do so. Now, I don't believe that, but this would leave us quite literally innocent of the crime. Or this, God gave us dominion over Earth, not other planets. If alien life exists, it was set on its territory for a reason outside being subjugated, genocided. I'm not sure how much I invest in them being heroes, but the humans are definitely the bad guys. Well, God gave us orbital bombardment weaponry, and it gave the cat people sticks and stones. To which the only counter-argument is, that's not how that works, because I know how God thinks, and you don't. Now that is rather amusing to me, because again, there is nothing moral about a species allowing itself to become extinct, especially not when it has the means to avoid that extinction. Or the whole point of the movie is that humans are parasites who destroy nature and all life dependent on it wherever they go, and thus are better off gone entirely. The Na'vi are the good guys because they live in harmony with nature. The whole movie is vile anti-human propaganda. That's kind of what it's going on about, yes. And this is the point that I made at the beginning to loop it all the way around again. The only way you arrive at the opposite of this view is by making the assumption that the Na'vi are a superior species. And indeed, that is the assumption made, even if they don't quite understand that they are making that assumption and assertion, by everyone who is defending the Na'vi. They are not really truly arguing the case and fundamentals that the Na'vi are superior, because there is no such case, not spiritually, not technologically, not morally, not in any true way that matters. But it is inherent within, especially leftist ways of viewing things, to prefer the outgroup. And when it is portrayed intentionally in a positive and sympathetic light, as the Na'vi are throughout the movie, they are shown to be the heroes every step of the way. A simpler mind will then decide to appreciate the outgroup over its own, the humans, even if all of the observable facts just beneath the surface backs up the idea that the humans were the heroes all along. This is a fascinating little societal phenomenon here that we see, and I'm wondering what Avatar 3 is going to do with it. Because Avatar 1 and 2 were largely just humanity being both comically evil and comically incompetent, whereas 3 appears to be the Empire Strikes Back, the moment where the humans are able to assert themselves over the aliens, before the inevitable alien return and defeat of the humans in the next 2 movies, of course. But I wonder how the story of humanity in the Ascendance on Pandora will affect the public consciousness, especially as, yet again, the only enduring legacy of Avatar right now is a quote that's not even from the movie. although I wouldn't be surprised if James Cameron decided to lift it nearly word for word. Word for word, gentlemen. An extra point if you get that reference, by the way. Name the movie in the comment section down below if you got it. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.